Thank you for showing up. Thank you to the parent. Can't say parents, there's only one parent here. So parent for bringing your children. Let me start off by saying, as I like to all the time, thank you guys for your dedication. As probably you can gather by what's coming across the pulpit about the media ministry, that this is a very important ministry to the church, to the bishop's ministry, to Antioch's ministry, and it's because you guys are dedicated and show up and do your job and do it with excellence that it's becoming more and more important part of the ministry here at Antioch. So we have a little bit of scheduling, personnel changes, that type of thing that we want to go over. First I want to do is reiterate how important it is for you to be on time. And on Sundays, that's pretty critical for us. On Thursdays, okay, get here when you can. Yeah, we understand Thursdays and we'll work through that. But every position is very, very important to us. So we want to try to increase our communication levels. We will communicate with you by messaging, by Facebook, call us, whatever we need to do. It helps just to stay in touch. You're not going to be able to make it. We can always typically find a body to throw in there. We can't do anything when the power goes out, as it did twice on Sunday, except scramble. So let me just go over some of these requirements are maybe modified from what you've heard. Producers, I would like you here on Sundays 45 minutes before service starts. It's only because you need to be the first one in there when your crew arrives. You don't need to arrive when your crew arrives. You already need to be in there, figure out what's going on. If there's anything special for that night, it's always helpful for that you know what's going on, or that morning. You know, somebody's going to have a race up and down the aisles, so you can already figure out what cameras I'm going to use this for this race, that type of thing. Thursday, obviously, as soon as you can arrive, but kind of keeping, you know, if you think you're not going to make your 30-minute window or even 15-minute window, give us a text if you're the on-call producer for that night. Let us know so we can kind of figure out. And thank you, Stephen, for a lot of times you punch in and it's not your time, but you get it up and going, and that's the type of teamwork we think. So when Seth walks in, he's on Easy Street, right? And doesn't have to worry. So 45 minutes ahead of time, and you still get an off light, because I make the sound people be here on Sundays an hour ahead of time. So they say, how do I get into the video department? Video team, 30 minutes is what I would like as a minimum of you arriving. It's going to give you time to go to the restroom, say hi to your friends, and be in your position 15 minutes ahead of schedule. I want you, Sister Lydia was going to be posting your schedules upstairs. So when you go up the stairs to the right there on the wall should be your schedule. Keep that. If you've got a phone, take a picture of it. Take it home with you. You'll get these other schedules sent out to you as well on Facebook, but so we're going to try to bombard you with different ways to get your schedules so you won't say, well, I didn't know I was on. There may be times that we mess up, and you can say that, so smile when you say it. I don't know when I was on. We don't want you working every shift up there. It's important for you. We try to schedule you once up there, but we know a week, but we know that sometimes that doesn't work out just because of rotational and people dropping out and that type of stuff. We would like for you to only work one time up there a week. The other two services be in service. And you know that we don't allow anybody to come and work in the media ministry and not attend other church services. So, but that doesn't apply to anybody here. But just FYI, we want you to be in service, and when you're in service, to get something out of it. So our goal is not to slave drive you now. I do my sound people because we're very, very short in that area, but we're going to be recruiting more people. Same thing with graphics, 30 minutes prior to service. In your seats, 15 minutes till. Especially because within 10 minutes of that, you've got a countdown you've got to put on the screen, okay? So we need to be ready to go when that countdown starts, streaming. It's the producer's responsibilities to start and stop the streams, make sure we're on the right channel, everything else. We don't want to be draconian about that, which means big booger bears about being, we understand that sometimes you're going to be late, there's going to be traffic, and that's not what we're after. We're shooting for a goal. We're shooting for excellence here. Because the worst thing you can do is sit down so rushed and you haven't figured out your camera speed controls, or you don't have the double boxes set and all that type of stuff. That stuff cascades into your production. And, we're into, the third song of the worship service, and we still are trying to get settled in. So it's very important to our audience, to people that we're broadcasting to, that we have it all together. And a lot of that requires us getting in position and being relaxed. Let's take a breath. Here we go. Service is on. Sound department, Sundays, AM and PM, 1 hour prior to service, and that's to facilitate practice and setting up of our systems. Thursday PM, as you get here, as you can. In a moment, I'm going to bring Sister Stewart up. She is now taking over our scheduling, in coordination of all scheduling. Seth has done a great job for us for the past couple of years. He still retains the senior producer position, and be helping coordinate the producers, that type of stuff. We have some other people that are in recruitment right now for producers, and we need to increase that so the workload obviously is not spread between the three of you. How many have noticed the tutorials on Facebook and have watched them? Okay. All right. So we put 6, 7, 8, 7 tutorials on Facebook, on YouTube, that covers how to color balance cameras using the new video scope, how to monitor iris on camera 1, how to do the double box setup, how to do credits. We want credits going. Credits work perfectly. If you don't know how to get the credits to work right, go through the tutorial. It's about 6, 7 minutes on getting that credits done. So I'd like to see credits roll tonight. Who's on tonight? Okay. All right. So there's no reason why we can't get the credits on tonight, but let's get back to doing the credits. And eventually I'll have the bug up for you. I'm still working on that. We have some limitations with frame amounts on that. So, watch these tutorials. We'll put out more tutorials as we go, probably some for graphics, that type of thing. But they're little short things that you can watch, so nobody should say, I don't know how to color balance a camera. It's all on YouTube, okay? All right. The other thing is FYI. Yes?
You'll have to catch me on Facebook then. If you want him to look at something, or either one of them, you're going to have to tag me and say, Lisa, can you have them look at it?
Okay. Make that happen when we send out those things. You're a member of the Antioch Media Facebook group? Okay. Okay. We just need to figure out a way to alert her when that happens. Or maybe if there's
you just want them to look at it just in general?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they should watch them all, especially since he's a TD.
Okay.
He's kind of smart. He already kind of knows the double box, but this nails it down for him. So I would recommend it, every 2-3 days or so, just to look at that Facebook and see if there's anything on, because we'll communicate through that way, but we'll also communicate through direct messaging for scheduling. But for tutorials, that type of stuff, it'll be on that Facebook page. One change that I have done is the scope. Now, the monitor, the big monitor on the bottom shows program, but the scope, what you're looking at, is preview. Okay? And that's so you can put a camera into preview and adjust its iris before it goes to program. So the scope and the picture, and it should say preview on the background of that page up there. Preview and program. So don't get them confused. A lot of great things coming up. It's possibility. I had an early morning call from the bishop the other day, and he says, what are you doing next Saturday? I don't know how to answer that question. Go ahead. But I don't know if this is going to come about, but it's a possibility that the bishop will be broadcasting next Saturday from our Studio A upstairs to Stockton, California. So that would be 11 o'clock our time, and that would be about 8 o'clock their time. They want him to teach them virtually from our location to their location. And he's looking at some more of that. Also, he wants two-way communication. So we'll have to have a Skype call coming back. So if they have a question, he wants to see the questionnaire. So that's kind of like the Antioch channel. We need switcher operators, we need floor directors, we need camera people, and we need audio engineers to pull all this magic off. That's something that I kind of think that if this is successful, that he might be getting into more of. We'd like to just try to convince him not to do it on Saturdays. but regardless, so all the other world is rest of the world is going to get experience with Bible with the bishop. They have to get up at 8 to see this at our broadcast time of 11. So if that comes about, we'll be looking for some people to come up and help us and volunteer. We actually just bought another one of these studio cameras. We're going to be for our marriage retreat, we're going to be shooting HD, probably in that marriage retreat, 2 cameras. So again, more opportunities for you to get your hands on some high-end production. I don't think that I have any more than that. Again, thank you. Sister Lydia's coming. She's going to talk to you about her scheduling protocols and some of the events coming up. One thing I did want to mention is, how would you guys like shirts?
Free stuff.
Free shirts that says...
Free.
Yeah. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Number one, I would entertain any type of design ideas or anything like that. But kind of what I would like to see is, number one, I kind of feel like I want our department to be known as Antioch Broadcasting instead of the media department or something like that. That would be, so it would say something like Antioch Broadcasting. If you have some other ideas, I'd be happy to entertain those, and maybe we'll take a vote on them or whatever. But I would kind of like to see some fairly nice shirts done that would have TD, technical director, or producer, or camera op, or graphics op on it. So that means if you graduate from being a camera op to a TD, you get another shirt, right? So I think that would be kind of cool. And I'm not talking about T-shirts. I'm talking about, yeah, something like a polo shirt or something like that, or maybe one of the nice type of crew shirts or something like that. Anybody in favor of that idea? Okay. And I want you guys to think also of when it gets to springtime and summer, how we can put together some Antioch broadcasting events, picnics, get-togethers, whatever type of thing. And I really like that to come from you guys and not from me, you know, because I tend to be the slave driver, but I want you guys to be a part of the thinking process of helping build your own type of stuff. I'm the administrator, yes, but you know, think hard and long also about that name too. Singapore calls themselves M-Cube. So it stands for Media Cube, and I guess they had 4 pillars of that: sound, graphics, something else. Antioch Broadcasting, it kind of tells us the story of kind of what we do a little bit more in here, but if you guys want to have your own kind of like a crew name or something like that, let me know, you know, and, you know, we can work that in. We're going to try to mix and match crews. We're going to try to not keep you also on the same schedule, just because, you know, who likes to miss every Sunday morning, you know, for here to eternity. So we're going to shake some of that up. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Sister Stewart, and she's going to go through some of these points on scheduling and events coming up.
I had to do that. Okay, I'm just doing the scheduling, and it is a challenge. So if you notice, before the scheduling, I sent it out to you guys on emails or Messenger, just so that you can kind of go over it, because I know that some of you are involved in other ministries. And with that in mind, you know, you can let me know, no, I can't do it because of this ministry here, or I can't do it because of whatever. You know, and sometimes, like the parents, for the minors, I'm always going to message the minor. I don't know, in your situation, it's just you. But in some of the other ones, there's minors plus their parents, and I do both of them. Because I feel that whenever it comes to minors, I always deal with the parents as well, because they're just minors, and that's the way it is. The other thing is to remember that I like to do is, once everyone say Seth, he has his schedule, and well, probably more Jonathan or somebody like that, but Seth in particular, where I'm just going to use you as an example, and say I let him see his schedule, and if it doesn't work, then he can let me know. I can revise it before I actually even put it down on the schedule itself. That's just one of the things you'll see me do a lot. I try to get the producers to kind of send them a little bit to let them know, because we're changing the team around a lot. The reason why we're doing that is just so that everyone can kind of get a feel of where they're at, kind of build up some stronger points. And if there's a team member that's maybe not as strong, maybe that producer can actually work with that one a little bit easier. You know, it's just, that's all we're doing, trying to get everybody to know each other a little bit better. You're going to contact me. You can contact me by phone, texting. I do really well with texting. If you do Facebook and then messengers, that works out better. So if you have anything that you got to say, you know, to me, it's always better to do it. If you're doing it on Facebook, do it through Messenger. Everybody knows that's always a courtesy thing to do, instead of showing it out. But if you know you're not going to be here, if you're sick, you're running late, that type of stuff, just text me. And that just lets us know of what we need to do. Other thing is, like I said, up in graphics, when you guys go up there, right when you get up to the stairs, you'll see a schedule, and that's the monthly schedule. Okay, so it's only going to be February. Eventually, we'll have March up there, so that everybody can see that, and upcoming events, so that we're not doing all of the work. We're spreading it out, because there's a lot of wealth out there, and like David Weaverling and myself and Glenn and Adam and sometimes Seth and Jonathan. That way we're not all feeling like it's just us and Andrew. We're trying to get more people to come in and join us and enjoy the wealth that's out there. So we're going to have Call to War. Everybody knows about Call to War. Call to War is during the day, and it's also in the evening time. For web sound and sound, sometimes it's just us, and I've done during the day and at night, and then you try to catch me at night, and I don't even know what you're saying because I've already done both times. So Call to War is another one. We're also, weddings is also going to happen. Usually for weddings, we do need cameras, we do need sound. Sometimes we need graphics for that as well. We do have one weddings coming up. This one, they're gonna sing, they're gonna be dancing and hopping all the way down the altar and stuff like that, and that's Adam's wedding. That's August the 1st. He's really not going to sing and dance. I just made that part up. But we are going to need people for that one. The ladies' conference coming up in August is another thing. We're having some young ladies that we're teaching to do graphics, so we may come up to you for graphics, and it's because it's a ladies' ministry. If it's here. If it's not here at the church, then it doesn't really matter much. 412, we have a lot of 412 events that are going to be coming up, March and then April and then throughout the year. And so we're definitely going to need some help with them. The marriage seminar, which is coming up next month, we need help for that. So those of you that aren't married, you can come in, you can learn a little bit about yourselves and as you're doing video or sound or whatever the case may be. Youth services, I don't know all of the schedules for the youth services, but you can see them on the calendar, so they usually need some help for that. Made to be Pure is coming up. See, there's a lot of things that are coming up. Made to be Pure is at the end of the month and May. Now, I know some of you are going to be a part of that Made to be Pure, and if that's the situation that you're not going to be able to help us, so it's going to be the older group at that particular point. Kids Revival in July, there's Back to School in August, there's possible Christmas plays, there's even, if there's going to be an Easter play, we're definitely going to need all the help we can get for that. And so this is just a few things that we have. So I bet you didn't know that there was all this stuff going on, did you? You just thought it was Sunday morning and Sunday night and Thursdays. Nope, there's a lot more than that. So if you are available, as these things come up, I'm going to be asking you or kind of shooting it out there on Facebook. And if you're interested, you know, when I throw it out there on Facebook, you know, text me back or, you know, kind of let me know, text me directly, just so we can start working you in. Because here's the thing, in the summertime, we have the Antioch channel. We have the Antioch channel Wednesdays already. But in the summertime, here's where you guys can come in that are minors that aren't in school, and we can actually use you. But a lot of times, whenever we're doing stuff and whenever we're looking at, like the Saturdays with the bishop, we're looking at already people who have committed themselves, and they really come and they show up and they show some kind of dedication. And what we're doing is, especially from the scheduling part, is we're looking, well, what about so-and-so, because they're always here, they've already showed that dedication, so that we're pushing beyond what you're doing already. Because in Singapore, we were talking to Pastor Lee, and I'm just talking about scheduling, but he said it. He said with his young people, what's happened is they've learned how to do media and sound and graphics. So when they grow up, they're actually able to even do some jobs doing something like that. And they gain their experience from church. So this is a big ministry. I mean, we touch a lot of people that we don't even see or know. And so, you know, it's just all about that. Any questions? Okay. I think I knocked it out.
So when you arrive for your shift, what I would like you to do is check in with Sister Lydia. Because if there's somebody that's missing or anything like that, she knows the roster and she may be able to pull somebody in. So her and the producers will work together to cover that. Producer, I don't want you to run out and just grab somebody without first checking with her. But anybody that, if you're coming in for your shift, normally she's going to be either up in web sound or down on the floor ready for house sound. So it's easy for when you walk in, Mr. Stewart, I'm on for the night, I'm here, then you're good to go. Adam and you guys, Andrew, have anything? Okay. So, you know, we've got a lot of good stuff that are working, a lot of changes that are going to continuously be made. You know, we're looking, we haven't I haven't heard yet if we've secured the place in Baltimore, but once that's done, we're going to be putting gear into there, and we're going to have direct two-way visual communication between that sanctuary and this sanctuary. So there's opportunity for you to get involved in the hands-on, pulling wire, that type of stuff, if that interests you. The other thing we'd like you to do is work with your producers. Let them know what your desires are. If you want to be a TD and that's all you want to be, we need to know these type of things so we can put more interest or concentration in your interests. But if you want to be a producer, I mean, what's your end goal here? You know, where you want to go with this. And some of you may be too young to know, I just want to run a camera right now and that's all I care about. Or you may say, you know, eventually I want to produce, or I want to be the graphics operator or a sound operator. We need to know so I can help you get there. The other thing that we have is everybody that's in the Antioch Ministerial Licensing Program has an 8-week rotation through the media department. So you'll be seeing these people come through. Right now we have Sister Noelle Miser that's in our rotation. Starting next Sunday, we'll have another one that's in that rotation. So I kind of overlap them, but they're here for 8 weeks. So they may be with sound, they may be with video, and I intend to rotate them through, or they may be with graphics. For instance, Sister Noelle has been on sound for a bit, so now her next 4 weeks in March will be going through graphics and video. So your jobs as producers and graphics operators is to show them the ropes. You don't have, I mean, it's not full training, it's just getting them acquainted with the process. But if they show a particular skill, run with it, that type of thing. Also, need you recruiting, always recruiting. We're at a point now that with the importance of our ministry to the church, that we can no longer entertain a lackadaisical attitude or a lack of discipline when we're on the job. Producers, if your crew is sitting there talking, laughing, number one is they're distracted from what they're doing. And either it's important what we're doing or it's not. So if it is important, then let's do it to the best of our ability. So you're probably going to have to be a little more heavy-handed, a little bit more disciplinarian than you normally would be. But as a producer, the number one thing that is required of your producer is to be responsible. And the entire production from beginning to end, you're responsible for that production and for that look, for whatever happens. People are going to have bad days. They're going to not operate the camera smoothly and stuff like that. That's understandable. What's not understandable is we're just up here to have a good time. If we have team members that can't sit together because they talk too much and they're too much in having fun, we've got to separate those teams up. You got to let Sister Lydia know that this is not working for us. I don't want it to be a drudgery for you to go up there. Oh, we got to sit here and be quiet. But you know, we've got to come way back this side of the line of seriousness and fun. Okay. A lot of times we went all the way to fun, and we've messed some camera shots, and people are talking, and cameras are talking back to producers. I don't want to do this shot. This shot's better. Well, the world that I come from, I wouldn't work the next gig if I talk back to a producer and say, I don't want to do this. This is better, and all that type of stuff. Or if I was goofing off. Why should it be any different? Just because we're not getting paid is our thing is our product any less important? It's probably more important, right? This is a kingdom, and we're not going to be bullies, but we expect the pendulum to swing back to more, this is a serious work. Yeah, we'll laugh sometimes. Sometimes there'll be a comment we can all laugh about, but it can't be a party. It can't be a party up there. Number one, if that's going on, if you're partying and Pastor David's down there preaching his heart out, where you're so far 180 degrees out from where the Spirit is moving on there, and I know it's hard to concentrate on what's being said and all that type of stuff, but your camera work is not letting his message come through. It's distracting because we're not paying attention. So, I don't want everybody to tremble when they go up there, but do, when you walk in there, think, okay, this is a ministry. It's a very important job. I'm going to take it serious. And let us know, producers, if these team members are not compatible to work together. We'll put you beside, we'll put one guy between 2 or 3 girls, and he'll be so intimidated that he won't say a word, right? And by the way, we need more girls in video, right? Yay, sister. All right. So that's about all I have. Any questions? Any comments that you things that you want to say? Now's the opportunity. Take your gun out and shoot. Take your best shot. All right. Thanks again. Let's get to it.